if you know us, you'll know that we've been, both of us had separate experiences outside of schools and gone back into schools today, but it's not at all. And Jan has really stolen our thunder there. No, we're actually all three of us are doing a brand new master's course being run through CSU called Knowledge Networks and Digital Innovation. Simon and I are just at the very beginning, and Bec's managed to swap over from another master's so that she can have fun with us as well. So first of all, we're just going to talk a little bit about ourselves as students, or a little bit about background. So for me, I mean, I've been around for a long time. The last time I studied was in the early 1990s, when I did 3/5 of a master's and didn't ever finish it. But it was such a very different experience back then. It was all just face-to-face classes once a week, very little communication or contact outside of that, and a very, very different experience. So that's been one of the most exciting things about this, is that it's been such a connected and collaborative experience. But I won't carry on. Bec?
Me? So I've only been teaching for 6 years, so going back into study quite early. I was only, I think, teaching for 2 years before I started my first master's degree. I transferred at the start of this year. I've actually completely swapped courses. The one I was doing was, it was through CSU. It was a master's in education, but specialising in IT, and I was just bored. They were using tools that they were using when I originally did my bachelor. So I don't know. It was just boring. I was disengaged. I was losing interest. The assignments were rubbish. I shouldn't really say that. It's going to be televised, but I was bored. I managed to get into one of Judy's subjects via an elective, and absolutely loved it. And then, so from one subject, I've now completely transferred courses and am going to graduate in December.
Whoa, it's not like me.
Okay, me. And most of you know me. I'm Simon. So I used to work here at the museum with Jan before Cameron came along, but I was out at Science Works. But I probably call myself now a long-term teacher. I've been for 10 years or so teaching in secondary education, biology, science specialist, but I now have taken on a teaching role back in the classroom, looking after a lovely group of Year 8. So I'm back in the classroom. So, you know, I'm back in the classroom at the same time becoming a student myself, really, and grappling with the stuff of, you know, being a 21st century educator, but a 21st century student. And the real beauty of this course is that we're learning new pedagogies, basically. And I think by being immersed in those pedagogies, we're all struggling with the idea of, you know, how do we teach kids with all these new paradigms that are really cropping up, new tools, new way of knowing things. And, you know, we all grapple with that, but I think we've been very lucky as we're now the students in that learning environment. We're learning very differently than we would have if we were back at school.
So we all about this, the subject that we're all doing in common is all run through this one website, and all the module stuff is there. There are also, and we connect in a lot of different ways. There are forums, you probably can't see too much there, but what's been fascinating to me is that it's the one time I've ever seen forums really, really actively used. But also there's a lot of us tweeting, so anybody who follows us will go, what's this INF 530? That's what we're talking about, anything to do with that subject there. We've also all had to set up a reflective blog space, and some of our assessments have to go onto that, and it's just another place where we can reflect on what we're learning, and we've been asked to read each other's blogs and to comment on each other's blogs, and the whole community that's really been set up has been fantastic. You want to talk more? They're really well planned.
One of the big things about the course for me is the assignments and the amount of choice available in the assignments. So our first assessment that we just got back today,
yes,
we got a list of books to do a scholarly book review, and we got to choose which book we wanted to read and analyse and and pull apart. So there was that student choice. For the second assignment, it's a digital essay, and again, we get to choose the topic of the essay. So to be able to have that much power over what you choose to, you know, learn and think about and pull apart, I think is completely different to the course that I was doing, and it was, you know, through the same uni. So differences.
Very content heavy, but in a way that we can, you know, choose what we want to engage with. So with all that content, then we're forced into a situation where we have to construct our own assignment, our own essay, if you like, but, you know, following rubrics where we're required to show our learning. Half the job is picking that, you know, what am I going to write about? So we all three now have to write a digital essay using a whole range of digital tools to publish somewhere on the web. 1 minute. And we're struggling, you know, what are we going to write about? But that's half the learning.
You can read about our proposals on the blog.
Yeah, mine's on my blog.
No.
If you're interested, that's a link there to the actual, that'll take you straight to the page about the subject on the Charles Sturt University webpage. And apparently there are some spots available in semester 2. So if you are at all interested, Judy O'Connell is the person to get in touch with. You could tweet to her or email her at that address, and there are our blog spaces there if you don't already follow us, if you'd like to look at our blogs and investigate more about it. But the greatest thing for me about it is actually having these wonderful people to work with, and it's just unbelievable. Thank you.
Thank you.